Hey everyone, how you doing today? Thought I'd show you what I've been working on the last few days. I did play a little Valheim too, which is awfully cool. But yeah, I've still been working on stuff. Still trying to get some more things made for the Helios, especially in the module range of things. This one here is I just have the hull built right now, and it flies and it's functional. I got to build the interior and figure out how much storage and other things it's gonna want in it. But this is a mining CV module, and also does salvaging. So it does have a multi-tool on it as well, right up on the front top. I set it up very much like the Plutos. In fact, I'm going to call this probably the Plutos M2 module. It's basically it's a step up from what this one is. Now this was a steel-hulled CV miner. I used it quite a bit in game. I liked it. I liked the agility of it, and that it had some processing capabilities and some defense capabilities, and the mining platform or the spacing of the drills and everything worked really, really well, especially combined with agility. So you could kind of like just hit an asteroid really quick and maneuver around it, and like you're like drawing on it with a pencil. And I liked that. So this one, although bigger, I wanted it to have the same general function as the Plutos, except for it also does salvaging. It's a hardened steel hull on this one, so it is going to be tougher. It does have a few more turrets on it, and it's a much more thrusty than the original one. But I also plan on upping its interior production. Like the Plutos had two small constructors and two 320K harvest bins. This one I'm planning on at least doubling that, and the constructors may end up being like advanced constructors as well, so it can process the other ores. So I've got quite a bit of space in here. I do plan on adding a shield on this one and an advanced warp core as well. This one will be more expensive than the Plutos for sure, but it does have quite a lot of room left inside it. I just thought I'd take it in for a quick dock to show you how it looks parked in the ship here. So let me fly this down to a Helios, and let me turn on the HUD again too, so I got my crosshair. Let's get into one of these module bays here. And I'm pretty happy that all this stuff has finally worked out, though. This ship was kind of it was a bit of a frustrating ship to build. A lot of modifications and patches and things like that, and a lot of little bugs to work out. But I think in the end, I'm pretty happy, and it's basically going to be the ship I want to use, like near endgame ship in season 2 as well, especially with new modules and stuff like that for it. So on this one, since we got it all docked up now, this is kind of what it looks like docked. Due to the height in the parts that I wanted to put on here, I actually left those and spaced it out so it perfectly fits on the side and kind of sticks out a little bit over here. Also, I made an effort to add more walling around the actual drills to try to keep them safer inside the. Towards the end of season 1, I lost at Plutos. I wasn't expecting to lose the Plutos, but I think what actually happened is there was some kind of, I got hit on the drill turrets when they were out, being chased around by some drones, and they chain reacted and blew the whole like the whole front side of the ship to pieces, where there was nothing left, which really sucked. I'm glad it happened towards the end of the season, and we had a backup Plutos anyway, so it wasn't that big of a deal, but I didn't want to lose it. This one I'm just trying to make tougher. Granted, it's going to be like the Plutos only needed it was a lower tier creation. This one's going to need some advanced cores in it, where that one didn't. Because it's just more CPU. But I'm hoping to have it the same capabilities of mining as the Plutos, at least double the storage, plus reclamation or salvaging features built right into it, so it can just do pretty much everything and move around like the Plutos, and max speed in space and good agility and maneuvering and all that fun stuff. Right now it is, and I think I got I think I got about the right amount of thrusters on here to accomplish that. I'm not unsure on lift thrusters. I didn't design this to go down to planet surfaces at all. Um, so this is not the production or high gravity production dropship. That is something else I want to be building. Probably the next module I work out, as well as some of these sensory turret deployable modules. Those so I'll be working on at least 3 or 4 new modules that'll be coming out over the next few weeks. One, I did want to work on a dropship module as well. I haven't built one of those myself yet. I don't think there is one available though by another author, which is really cool, and it's a nice module. So I was thinking a bit. I was toying with the idea of making the dropship module actually a high gravity production module that also can bring down HVs and SVs. So I don't know how much thrust it's going to need. I don't know how much storage I'm going to want to put on it yet, I guess. And I'll have to test it on a lot of these planets. Now, one nice thing about testing high gravity creations in the Reforged Eden creative scenario that I'm in currently is there's a lot of planets around, and I've noticed that they fluctuate a lot in gravity. Like a lot of them are way, way above 1G gravity. Now that's pretty cool for testing this stuff. It's not very cool if you want to take screenshots that I found. Some of the creations that I was making did not have the kind of thrust to deal with high gravity planets. So I was like trying to do like a photo shoot on like a snow planet or some other planets that are in this system. And there's basically just a lot of samples of different kinds of planets: lava, alien planet, temperate planet, swamp planet, arid planet, water and snow, and then an asteroid field. But a lot of these planets are they have different gravities on them, and they're really up there. When I was trying to test one creation that was not built for high gravity, it was really troublesome trying to take pictures of it. And that's the only thing I was doing. I guess I could have fired up a record game and just brought it in that way too. It just takes a little bit more time and effort. But there is that. So next thing I wanted to show you is I showed it a bit last time under construction, but I mostly finished it. And this is a new Reforged Eden starter base. Could be vanilla as well pretty easily. Probably will be. Maybe I'll try to make this one fit both. I haven't come up with a name for this one yet. Wonder if I should spawn it up off the ground a little bit for now. But this is it's a very cheap starter base with a lot of solar. It's running let's see, 2 plus, I think we got 6 per side. So it's got 14 large solar panels. It's only got 2 turrets, so it's a little light on defense. But I think I'm gonna work out a very cheap, small, like Sentry ground placement gun, something like the MCRN Point Defense T1, but probably smaller and cheaper yet. Where you could maybe it'd only have like maybe 4 turrets on it or something like that, and you could, but they would be really cheap, so you could spawn a few of them around your base area. So yeah, I placed this terribly on the ground, but inside here, pretty much looks like this. You got 2 large constructors, 2 320K storage, 2 small constructors per side. And then all your parts are just kind of in here. It's using the standard ammo box, but it only has the 2 turrets, so it doesn't really need a lot of ammo. And what it was really built for, though, is to be really cheap and functionable early game. So it's the entire hull is built from concrete. It still needs iron for the cargo extensions, and it still needs carbon substrate for other parts that I guess just need carbon substrate. I didn't use any carbon substrate for the design of this, so it's entirely concrete. So yeah, that's about it on there. Nighttime, well, it looks like something at nighttime. It's got some lighting in here, and these newer designed storage LCDs that I made on the Helios. That was the first one of using that design. But these are easy again to work with, so I could just like copy and paste and set the name. And I kind of made it so they're a little bit easier to change the name on these. Some of my other LCDs with all the coding in there and everything were getting really weird to alter. Like the things wouldn't space out right, but I've learned a couple things with LCDs that I'm like separating things on more lines. So like if we wanted to go down here and change, like say we want to call this storage bay 8, we can do that, and and the cursor actually lines up so you can change it easily or change the entire name of it. So it's just a little bit different style. I think my problem in the past was I was trying to combine several things sometimes on the same line, and it was causing this wacky space issue where you couldn't edit the LCD unless you copied and pasted it to a text editor, made your changes there, and then pasted it back into the game, which was a pain in the butt. So I think I found a way mostly around that at this point in time with LCDs, which is helpful. It's just try not to do too much on one line, and very, very much depend on that line height statement at the end of every line, so you can set the next line. So then you can do all the graphics and keep everything kind of organized. So that's about it on this one. As in vanilla, I'll have to bring this in vanilla. I don't think there's anything on here that vanilla would complain about. I'm not sure how the CPU plays out versus the Reforged Eden version. Speaking of CPU, comes out perfectly at a tier 1, or it doesn't need any CPU blocks whatsoever on this creation, which is wonderful. And that helps keep the cost down. I think overall it doesn't do farming, but versus the starter base we used on season 1, which is the Scar Pilgrim, which dealt with farming but less storage and stuff like that. So this one is it's a little cheaper. It doesn't deal with farming at all, but it does 320k storage modules is way more than the other starter base had. And the other starter base actually it was didn't work now with Reforged Eden unless I brought it up to a tier 2 category. When we first brought that in, it was we were playing vanilla, and it's a T1 in vanilla, but it's T2 in Reforged Eden. So that's kind of how it works. This one stays a T1 in vanilla. So on the gameplay here too, me and probably with Excalibur, we'll have to decide if we want one of these, two of these, or if he's got his own thing. We could easily share the same base this time, and hopefully, due to a game issue that I find really annoying, especially when you're both like trying to craft stuff. It's like if someone's in one storage or a crafting machine, the other person can't do it. So it just causes constant like, oh, I'm doing this in here, and I can't access that because you're in it, and could you get out of this? And it was like it happens a lot, especially if you're both like trying to make stuff at the same time. So with this setup, I was trying to avoid that with up to 2 players. Or if it's just a single player and you got 2 of these bases, then more power to you. Each of you got like 6 constructors to do stuff with. And if you want to update this base, like we probably would for advanced constructors, basically I'm thinking I would just delete this block here and add a tier 1 CPU core, and then you could update these constructors to the advanced ones, and maybe, I don't know, maybe even find a way to slap some more turrets on here or something like that. I can't really put any more turrets on here if I want to keep this a tier 1. So that's the thing. I'm really locked on CPU. I wanted to make it hopefully mostly power itself with solar. Well, that's about it. So that's what I got today. Future plans, again, want to build a high gravity production module. Want to get finish up and get out the Sensory CV modules. And there's another project I kind of want to work on. It'll be kind of a long-term project, and I want to build something for the Anvil City planet inside of maybe it'll be done by the time season 2 is like midway or something like that. But I'm actually looking to build like some kind of larger creation that would not sit in the city itself, but kind of out of spawning zone, I guess you can say, from the city, so it wouldn't invoke any frame rate issues for the city. And it's going to be, I think, a theme park. And I got some ideas for it already. I was kind of thinking about this. So it'll have like some shops and like a causeway and a big opening gate, and then they'll have like, I was thinking 3 different style architectures. Like the right side might be one style, and the left side might be another style, and then the center middle might be a different style. And then I wanted one of those sides. I'll leave a door open for a future project, and that is I wanted it to go to at the start of a HV off-road racetrack that might go several kilometers, and not be dependent on like one big creation that holds the entire track like I've seen done before, but rather build smaller parts that you place over the terrain in various places and make a course through the terrain. Problem with HV racing in this game is, especially with the small tracks, if you build them like on one creation, even though it might be a very large creation, it's still a tiny track for HVs, and they just need more space to roam before they before you can control them, and they have like any kind of worthy racing, I think. And I actually kind of wanted this to actually work, you know, so if you did a race on it, it would actually be fun and challenging, and where you could control your HV through the terrain and jumps and around, you know, obstacles and things like that, and complete like a course that's several kilometers long. I think that would be kind of fun. I haven't seen it done in that manner myself yet, but I have seen some tracks made by some other authors that are really cool tracks. But you know, even if you have a size class 40 base that's supposed to be a track, or you know, it's probably too small for the amount of room that you need with HVs to really use them right, because it's just all the HVs I made are just, they don't handle well in that kind of condition, and I'd rather have them go mostly off-road through terrain and stuff like that, and then put up things along the way, and you know, big signs saying turn left here, and they'll make you a wall, and drive through the gate and go through the whatever, and who knows, might even have a cave in it. But that is some ideas that I've got for future stuff. Also, I kind of wanted to keep on thinking about what I want for Season 2 on progression, you know, from starting to mid-game to late game to end game. So I might be whopping up some other creations to accommodate certain needs that come up as things get played through. So, but right now, for the next several weeks, so I'm going to still be mostly focused on modules and things to get that Helios just better and better. And I haven't seen, I was hoping, but I made a collection for all the Helios modules, and I put in there that if you got another CV that supports them and you want it in the collection, that's I'll add it, or if you make other modules. I haven't got any feedback on that from there though, so no one actually has responded saying anything about modules yet, but hopefully in the future I'll keep on putting out some more modules, and we'll see what happens. I'm kind of excited for that new module too. I think I wanted to feel like the Plutos, but have more power, more capability than the Plutos, and be able to actually get it into tougher situations yet, and be able to survive is well, the goals at least. So anyway, that's all I've got for today. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you got any questions or comments, please let your word be known in the comment section, and you all have yourself a good day. See you later.